Joining me now, Ambassador Gary Locke, former U.S. ambassador to China and former Secretary of Commerce. So let me ask you about that. I mean, there has been some suggestion that maybe some companies will try to absorb these costs. But when we're looking at tariffs that, at least in the case of China, could exceed 100%, what do you think the chances are that a lot of these costs get passed on, and how quickly?
Well, thanks for having me on your program. Obviously, with the tariffs on Chinese goods coming into the United States at over 150%, because you have to remember that there were tariffs imposed on Chinese products during the first Trump administration. So when the Walmarts and the Home Depots, the Costcos, the Nordstroms of the world, the Targets, when they order something, if it's going to cost them more than twice the amount that they previously paid, they're going to have to pass it on to the consumer.
As someone who's been at the helm of the economy, what are the signals you'll be watching for early for the effects and what may impact the economy going forward for everyday Americans?
Well, obviously, the 10% across the board tariffs on all products coming from around the world remain. And thank goodness the president has reversed course and suspended the so-called retaliatory tariffs on the EU, UK, and many of our other trading partners, including Canada and Mexico. But let's not forget that the tariffs, the extra cost on steel, aluminum, and imported cars remain. And that's going to hurt people. It means those products will be a lot more expensive. And companies that use steel and aluminum, they're going to have to pay more. And they're going to have to, as they make things, as they manufacture in America, that's going to get passed on in terms of the ultimate price, which makes that American product less competitive even here in America against, let's say, a German product, and less competitive around the world as they're trying to sell those products in competition with similar products from all around the world. So consumers and workers are going to feel it, because in a trade war, there are no winners on either side. The consumers and the workers both lose out.
And as you're watching this from your perspective as a former ambassador as well, give us your insights into Xi, because China has made it clear that they're holding firm. The president said just maybe an hour ago, they've been totally taking advantage of us, which has been part of his mantra going forward. So does somebody blink first?
Well, first of all, American policymakers and American businesses, and even those around the world, have long complained about the unfair trade practices of China in terms of subsidies, insufficient enforcement of intellectual property rights, dumping, and everything else. And so those concerns have been legitimate, even with Democratic and Republican presidents. But I don't believe that tariffs are the right way to go. Now, China and the communist leaders are very, very proud. They feel that they have come back onto the world stage, want to be treated with respect and as equals. And so President Xi cannot afford to look weak to among his constituents, and he certainly doesn't want China to be viewed as weak on the world stage. And so don't expect the Chinese leaders to make that first phone call to the White House. And of course, President Trump is a proud person and is digging his heels in. He won't make that phone call either. So perhaps we need some retired prime minister or foreign leader to engage in some diplomatic shuttle diplomacy.